Okay. Hey, welcome. It's Jakita. I'm going to go ahead and click go live on Instagram. And it's working, finally. It's working this time. I'm so happy. Okay, cool beans. Okay. Hello, everyone. I am streaming on Instagram, the Married Millennial underscore. If you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me. I am also, hey, Janelle. Thanks for joining. I'm also streaming on YouTube at The Married Millennial if you are on YouTube. And I'm also streaming on my Facebook page, Relationship Coach Jakita Reed. So, hi, thank you all for joining. Thank you all to the people who have came in. I am going to be talking about today it like how to be okay with not telling your side of the story, and I'm gonna do a little story time um of a situation that I had and that I have just overcome, and how I've just been streamlining my way through that. So, welcome. I'm not gonna be on here forever tonight, y'all, because I know it's Wednesday, Hump Day. Hey, babe, thank you for joining and watching me. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. So I want to start off by saying there was a time, a particular situation where my oldest daughter's father, I had a baby when I was in college, 21 years old. And basically the situation didn't pan out to be, what I thought it was going to be. Um, and he was really unclear about a lot of things. I'm not gonna tell the whole story. He didn't tell the truth about a lot of all mostly everything, but I ended up in a situation where, you know, I he has all this access to his family, and he gets to tell his side of the story to the people whom he's involved, and maybe they believe him. I don't know, because it's like, if you anyway, there's so much to that story, but I just had to be able to find peace. And at that time, which was about, what, I'm 34 now, which was about 14 years ago, almost. My baby is almost 14 years old. I had to be able to find some peace in that situation, because I was struggling at that time. I could have let that got the best of me, right? He was basically telling his family whatever side he wanted to tell them, because they weren't involved. They weren't even trying to get to know me. And if you know me, I'm a really decent person, right? Like, I feel like I'm a good person, and I have always been. My intentions have never been malicious. But at that time, I couldn't do anything about it, because I didn't know who to contact and how to get in contact with people. And people believe their family members often when a situation happened, or their friends or whoever. And then we had a whole university who kind of knew our situation. And yet and still, I was trying to maintain my maturity, trying to maintain my own peace and my own dignity, and not, being messy and revealing a whole lot of stuff on social media, just because I was angry and I felt like he was, doing things to me that I really wasn't speaking about. And so there was this point where I had to decide to let go of, just to move on, without knowing that his family don't know me. They don't know my side of the story. He gets to, misconstrue any type of thing that he wants to say what the situation is or how it is. And fast forward to this day, he's not in my daughter's life. So at this point, also, I don't know what they think about me, right? It's been 14 years. I don't know what they think about the situation. I don't know what they think about him being an absent father, any of those things. And yet and still, I was so angry, right? In those beginning years, I was so angry with him. I was angry with his family. I was just angry with everybody. I didn't understand, because I was so young and innocent, to be able to understand, like, why and how people will respond, or just abandon a child. Or at that time, shoot, I was basically still a kid too. I was 20, but we're still young and figuring it out. And so it was a hard reality. But I often realize that there's so many people who are in situations where, people get to spin the story how they want to, and you can't even tell your side of the story, because that's their people. Or, they saying whatever to whoever, making your reputation, making you seem crazy, making you seem like you're the one with the problem, or you caused this, or you did that, or you're the bad person. And it's so frustrating when you can't defend yourself and when you can't speak up for yourself. So what do? Right? At the time, 14 years ago when I was 20, 21 years old, I couldn't tell my story. I still can't because I don't know the people, but I found so much peace. I decided, this is what I said to myself. I said, it doesn't matter what they think, right? Because the people whom are for you, the people who know you, the people who's already on your side anyway, the people who support you and love you, and the people who care will come to you and ask you, hey, what's going on? What happened? They'll come to you and say that. And those are the people that usually, excuse me, I'm choking. Let me drink some water before I finish, okay? I have pH water. If you don't know about this, is at Walmart. I love it. And CVS. It helps with just alkaline type water. So I love this. It really helps me, especially since I talk so much and in allergies and sinuses and all that. So anyway, segue. I was at that time, I found peace with the mindset that, I don't care anymore. I literally had to care. I wanted to explode. I wanted to go off on social media. I wanted to text him and say all these crazy things. I wanted to find his mother and text her and say all these crazy things. Side note, I did a couple of times. I didn't say crazy stuff, but I was just like, I was so desperate at that time for my voice to be heard, for my side to be heard, for my story to be heard, to not be dismissed, to not be abandoned, to not be, thought of as this person whom I wasn't. And so I was so desperate at that time. And I mean, I think it's a natural human instinct and desire to want to be heard and understood and to not be seen as something that you're not. And so it's like at those points, I wanted to tell my side so bad. I hated so wholeheartedly that these set of people could not even care enough to reach out to me, to know how I feel, to know what my side was, to know what happened, to get to know me or my child. It was just really, what people say, diabolical to me, like to really understand these people. And so I was angry. And so I did try for a few years to try to get in contact, to send emails like, oh, you think you got me, but I found your mama's email address, like, or you got this. But little did I know she's just the same type of person as he was from my, non-interaction with her, or her, the way that things seem, because he'll come back to me and like, oh, my mama told me you messaged her and da da da. And I'm like, see, I can't win, right? What I came up with in my mind to help me move past this 14 years ago was that, and sometimes I have to remind myself, it don't matter about them people. Who cares about them? You know what I'm saying? Like, it, of course, in an ideal world, we'll all be copacetic, and if a situation like this happened, we'll be able to co-parent and his family will be there for my daughter and all that. That would be amazing, but they aren't, and that's not how it is. And so I have to learn how to cope with that. And I feel like at the end of the day, I told myself, I said, you're okay, right? Like, you're good. These people don't know you. You have to find peace in that, or it's going to destroy you. It's going to tear you down. You know that you're not a bad person. You know that you didn't do anything. You know your part. And again, it's really tough to try to reason with those strong, deep feelings of frustration, guilt, shame, embarrassment, um, abandonment, um, disappointment, of, oh my gosh, there's probably so many other words. Like, what words would y'all say? Please leave them in the comments. Just like, it's just this idea of people rejection, right? Rejection. Oh my gosh, shame. Some of these words that you feel when people do hurtful things to you, or when there's an unfair situation and you're made out to be the bad person. It's like, what the hell? And so at that time, I just kind of tried to put myself, for one, focus on something else. I am a person who's so driven to make sure that I'm good at all times. Like, I'm heavy on personal development. I'm heavy on trying to uplift myself and motivate myself. And so I'll find something else to put my time and energy in versus sitting there ruminating, thinking about these people. I blocked him, moved on with my life. And I was like, you know what? I realized I'm not going to fight with this person to try to be in my life or my daughter's life at all. And so I'm just going to move on, right? I already had decided I didn't want to be in a relationship with him, but we had a child together at this point. So what was I left to do? I didn't want to be left sitting in anger. I didn't want to be resentful all the time. I didn't want every time I log in on social media, I felt bitter, or I wanted to just continue this spiral of reaching out to him. And I didn't want to be in this obsessive state of trying to get them to see me, because they couldn't. They don't have the capacity. He never had the capacity, right? And so it's like we have to understand, yes, life moves on. Exactly. Thanks, babe. We have to understand, tired of the one-sided narrative. Of course, yeah, I understand. Thank you. This is on Instagram. It was a comment from Signature Fade Studio 815. Yeah, it is hard when there is one-sided stories, but what can you do? Are you going to allow that to drag you down? Are you going to allow that to take over your life? Like, you have to learn how to move on in the situation of, it's okay. I literally chucked them up to be who they are, and I said they must not be. And this was helpful for me, but this was helpful for me to think, these must not be the type of people that I need to be around anyway. Because I always feel like I'm going to be protected. I always feel like my best interest is going to play out in the end of everything. And so if those relationships didn't work, if those people couldn't see me, if they can't, be mature enough to understand and see who I am and meet me or meet my daughter and understand our story and see what really happened, I don't need them anyway. I don't. And I know, like, in the beginning, it feels like we're trying to lie to ourselves, like, you don't, like, well, yes you do, like, this is difficult, but you don't. I don't want negative energy in my life. I don't want people who are going to make my life worse in my life or make my daughter's life worse. I don't want people whom I'm going to have all this drama, and back and forth and negativity. That's not the type of person I am. So I really look at it as a blessing for the simple fact that I don't have to deal with them. They don't get to bring their negative energy into my life. I am protected, and it don't feel good in a way that I'm protected because, again, I was young. I made a decision to have a child, with someone whom is not a decent person in my point of view, because who abandons their children. um and especially, when it's so much time has passed and you're still doing the same things, and especially when I'm not doing anything, like, it's just a crazy situation. But anyway, at the end of the day, I'm here to say we have to find the good in goodbye, like Beyonce said, right? And just be grateful for that, because what else can you do? Like, seriously, I'm not allowing anybody to have control over my life. I'm not allowing any situation to continue to make me bitter or angry or resentful, or to take me out of this state where I can't enjoy my moment because I'm thinking about them. Like, you don't have that control over me. You can't allow people to have that type of control over you, or a situation to have that type of control of you. You have to release it. How do you release it? Put your time in something else, right? um Consider all aspects of the situation. Like, sometimes people just are who they are. Sometimes they just aren't for me. I just see that they're not meant to be in my life, and I know how great of a person I am. I know the value that I add to the people's lives who I am a part of. They don't deserve me. And again, birds of a feather flock together. So, like, one plus one equals two. I'm just saying, like, from the root to the branch, maybe it's all defective on that side. Okay. And I don't care. I'm not going to say I'm not going straight, because I am, but maybe they are. And I feel like at the end of the day, I'm okay with that. It sucks, the situation overall. I would not have chosen this for myself or for my child, but it is what it is. And I'm not going to allow anybody to come into my life and to continue to, break me down. So I said all this to say, if you have a situation, right? Yes, China, thank you for joining. The good and goodbye. Absolutely. If you're joining from Facebook, I'm sorry, I cannot see your comments. I need to go to Facebook to see any comments if there are some. But I said all this to say that, just figure out how to move on, how to be okay with people not being who you think they are, how to be okay with people rejecting you, with people abandoning you, with people um abandoning your children or whatever. Like, it's not okay. It's not okay. But, like, what else can you do about it, right? And so, I think it's really important for you to just switch your mindset. That's all I had to do. I had to show myself, who am I? Right? I'm not this type of person to allow someone to continue to make me feel down about myself. I can't ever let anyone win anything over me like that. So I feel like, for you all, if you can, take back your power, because we give so much power to people when we allow that situation, or, you know, that experience with them to continue to penetrate us in a negative way, or to make us bitter or sad or angry or upset, or especially if we allow it to affect other situations and relationships in our lives. So I literally chose a higher road. And again, is it easy to choose a higher road? It's not. Is it easy to think like, okay, you know what? Obviously, y'all not in my life and in my daughter's life because y'all just are not decent people. Because I know for me, I don't miss out on anything that's good for me. I don't miss out on anything that's meant for my life. And I believe that same protection over my children. So at the end of the day, if someone's not there, it's because God is trying to protect us from them being there. And that's okay. Like it doesn't, everything doesn't always make sense when we want it to. It's not always about, things adding up. It's just about accepting what things are and learning to move on. It's that simple sometimes, right? Just being okay with not telling your story. Because I ain't about to be out here looking crazy, constantly going back and forth. I'm not about to be stressed out. I'm not about to be looking, just I'm not about to be giving this person all of my energy and time. I just have so much other things, and like my life has literally prospered, and I don't know what his life is like. I don't know, and I don't want to know what his life is like, but I imagine it's nowhere near as good as mine, because I'm completely grateful for all the things that I have, and hopefully the lessons that they are learning, they learn. Like that is just simply how I feel, and I hope for you all that. Hey, Auntie, thank you for joining. I hope for you all that you figure out how to help yourselves move on. Like change your mindset about the situation. Change. There's a reason that they are not there, and sometimes people don't have the capacity to hear our side of the stories. They don't have the capacity to receive it. And the worst thing, if you have ever told someone something just for them to reject it, and you like, I just poured my heart out to you, and I thought this was going to make me feel better, and it didn't make you feel better, and it made you feel worse, or they said something else, or they just looked at you straight in your face like, and it's not the response or the reaction that you wanted, it makes you feel worse. So it's like, what's the point of trying to um, get people to see you when they are actively choosing not to understand you or to see you or to believe whatever is that what but to believe whatever it is that they want to believe about you. Let them. I'm telling you, it will come up in your life a few times where you think about the situation and it piss you off. Like I took the higher road, but sometimes I'm still angry and I feel like sending text messages and stuff like that, right? Because my child is growing and I just still don't understand certain things, and I don't want and don't like to see her hurt or to see her feeling any type of way about anything. So I just think at the end of the day, there's going to be moments when you feel angry and frustrated, and you feel like, okay, well, I'm trying to move on, but it's still hitting me. It's okay. Accept those feelings, embrace those, let it be what it is. Talk to somebody who's going to help you get through that rationally, right? Not to do something in anger, because acting out of anger don't always make you feel better. If you do need to release some anger in a healthy way, of course you can seek a professional therapist or coach or a mentor or counselor. But also just being able to talk to a trusted partner or a friend. You could also do activities like how I suggest some of my clients sometimes is, write on a sheet of paper, journal one thing, journal how you feel about the process. You can write on a sheet of paper of all of your thoughts and feelings and anger, and you can tear it up and burn it, safely. You can write these things on a plate, like things that you need to release, and then you can throw them in a safe area where you break the plates. It's called breaking plates exercise. You can look it up on Google. It's supposed to be therapeutic. It just helps to release some frustration and anger over situations or pain behind certain things. You can also they have axe throwing. I think that's kind of cool, but be safe, right? But you can also, like, sometimes thinking about writing a letter to this person or writing a text message or email to this person and then completely deleting it or like not sending it to them, because sometimes you want to say all these things to people and they don't even care. And it's like then you just feel even crazier for sending them anything or for expressing yourself to them. So I wouldn't recommend putting yourself in that situation. Sometimes we just got to chuck it up, and it just is what it is. Thank you all for joining. Hey, Justin. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate y'all being here. But yeah, sometimes you got to just chuck it up to what it is and learn how to move on for the greater good of you, because there's this quote about forgiveness, and it says, forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you to be able to find peace and freedom, to be able to release. And so what I say is to be able to allow a greater energy, a more peaceful, loving, healing energy into your life, you must forgive people. I don't know if I'm at forgiveness. I think I was at some point, but I don't think that I'm at for us. Like I go back in the roller coaster sometimes. I don't know if I'm at forgiveness. I think I'm at peace with the situation because I realize like I'm good. My daughter is good, but it is hard being in this position of not being able to tell your side. But would they care anyway? If you told them, would they care? Right? What are they going to do about it? So that's just my piece. I appreciate you guys joining my live. Thank you so much for being here. And I will be back at some point. If y'all have any questions or whatever, you can list them below, leave them. I'll stick around for a few seconds to see if you guys have any questions. Because I appreciate it, right? It's hard trying to get over things, but you find so much peace. And so I think that's the most important part. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Justin. I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. So I am. Well, if you guys don't know, I am a relationship coach and therapist, and I'm sharing these videos and these things because I really I'm so passionate about personal development. I'm so passionate about well-being and self-love and love and relationships in general. And I realize there's not all relationships in our lives are beautiful and romantic and thriving and healthy. There are sometimes relationships in our lives that are causing a hella lot of confusion. That's not even a word, but like I had to say it like that because it causes a lot of confusion and pain and hurt and disappointment. And just being able to help other people with their issues, especially if there's things that I've dealt with or there's things that my clients deal with that I can talk about and help other people because a lot of times people are going through the same things in their life and we don't even know because we're all so busy not talking to people about it. And so if I can be of service, if I can be a voice in these situations for people, and if I can share my experiences and how I overcome these things, to me it's a win-win, and I'm doing the thing that I've meant to do on this earth. So I care so deeply about relationships, and I care so deeply about just people having a beautiful life. And for me, like the thing that enriches my life is having deeply connected, healthy relationships. So I want that for everybody. So if I can help you romantically, friendship, just even a relationship with yourself, which is so pivotal to, it's like the roots, in the core of all of your other relationships, the way that you feel about yourself, the way that you think about yourself, how you treat yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you resolve conflicts within yourself, how you motivate yourself, like how do you overcome obstacles, how do you respect yourself and set boundaries for yourself. All of these things are part of self-love, and they radiate into all these other areas of our lives, like our careers, our relationships, our job choices, just everything, right? Our health, everything. So I'm so big on that. I actually have a women's group called Her Space, and it is to start August 3rd. And I'm so, so, so excited about this, getting this group back up and running because if you guys don't know, I had a previous boot camp group, and that was amazing. It was so fun. I have some people returning. And then now I'm doing Her Space, and I will continue to probably do Her Space for the rest of my life because I love it. But you guys can join. So if you are on Instagram, you can go ahead and click my Instagram bio link, and it'll take you straight to the registration page. You can always DM me just to say interested in the Her Space group, and I'll send you the registration form. We start August 3rd, um, and it's going to be amazing, full of women just talking about different types of experiences that women have, like relationship issues, self-esteem, confidence, self-love, just building that support system for women because we highly need it. Sometimes there may be women in relationships already, some that are married, some that are single, who are dating, but just women of all walks of life who are coming together just for support, genuine support and friendship and love, just to grow together because that's so important and pivotal. And if you're a woman, you already know community is so important to us. And if you're not a woman and you're a man, just knowing that, women, we love having a tribe. We love having people who are able to support us. So I want to be able to create that space for women. So that's what her space is, right? To be able to have that tribe of people who support you, who get you, who align with you, and whom you can grow and prosper with. That is my whole goal, is that we all can just grow together. So yeah, I'm excited. If you're on Facebook, there is event that I created called Her Space. So if you go to my Facebook page, Jakita Reed, relationship coach, you'll look on see on my page that I have a registration link on one of the posts that I shared recently. And then if you are on YouTube, I will post a link under this video in the description once I'm done with this live. So thank you so much, China. I appreciate you. You said you have no clue how much you helped me. I really appreciate you. I try my best to do all the things that I can for everybody, right? Like this is just what I do, and if I can share my story and help, I will. I also have linked the thank you, husband. My husband linked the code, the registration form for you guys to sign up for Her Space. If you don't know, share it to your friend, your sister, your cousin, whoever need this. Try the group out. I promise you, you'll love it because it's gonna be so much fun. I'm completely excited. So, yeah. If you guys have any questions or anything that you want me to answer, any videos you want me to do, don't hesitate to reach out to me. But I wish you all so much peace and love and growth and healing and freedom, um, and prosperity in your lives as you just get through. Like, truly, your environment is so important to your well-being, right? Your environment is so important to your mind too. Your mind is so important to how well you do in this life, how successful you are in anything that you do. And so to me, have a good attitude. Have a forward-thinking, prosperous attitude about anything you do. Yes, there'll be hard times. Yes, there'll be hard situations, and sometimes there'll be people who seem to come in and want to tear everything up for you. But like, be intentional about setting boundaries. Be intentional about blocking people out, cutting people off, about um, keeping people at arm's length distance if they are not aligned with where you want to go, and if they're not helping you to feel peaceful and to feel how you desire to feel, right? Like, I'm so intentional. Seek out the things that you want, and as much as you can, release the things that you don't want. So that is all I have for you guys. I appreciate you for joining me tonight. I look forward to seeing you. I hope that you guys interact with my pages. And I love you guys. Bye. I'm out.